Hello, my name is Navigator. In today's video, as quickly as possible, I'm going to try to go over this Western New York haul that I had this week. I'm on spring break this week from work, so I had a week off and I went up to visit my girlfriend, and I stopped at a bunch of places out in Western New York. Collectible places, comic stores, whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to try to name everything and where I got it when I get to it, but it's kind of all over the place. Let's get into this. So starting right off here in the corner, and actually I'm going to grab the bag so I can throw them back in one by one. One of the stops that I had earlier in the week was at Toys from Lowe's in Niagara Falls, New York. A great place. I really can't speak more highly of them. They have an arcade there as well. I'm really trying to keep the time on this video down because I'm actually going to WWE NXT in my hometown of Utica here in like an hour. So check out Toys from Lowe's and Lowe's Arcade Mania in Niagara Falls, New York. Here's the stuff that I grabbed. They had a bunch of different action figures, but a little G.I. Joe kind of like gun box accessory. A little like foxhole fortification there. We also grabbed, oh man, what's his name? Like Whiplash or something, I forget. We have Wild Card here who looked like Chuck Norris, so that's kind of why I picked him up. We also have Red Star who's missing the crotch, but I actually got these all for a great price. So I'm really not complaining. I know they're a little fuzzy here, but we really got to move through this. I don't even know the name of this guy, but he's kind of Dreadnought Crystal Ball-esque, so I picked him up. I also wanted to upgrade my Chuckles, and I found one that was in really good condition, so we have a Real American Hero Chuckles. And then finally here, the Night Creeper with the blindfold. I thought that was really cool, and actually Lo agreed with me there. So that was pretty sweet. So once again, shout out to Toys from Lowe's in Niagara Falls, New York. They have a whole bunch of stuff in there. Toys, pops, video games, and an arcade. Just to get this one out of the way quick. From eBay, we do have the UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship Michael Bisping action figure. I'm like kind of going to start to collect these UFC figures. Not really though. But Michael Bisping is definitely one of my favorite UFC fighters of all time. And to find an in-box version of his figure is pretty sweet. So I will be unboxing this on the channel. So keep an eye out for that. The other things I will be unboxing from That 80s Toy Shop, I did get the Gotham City Thug just to add to my DC Universe Classics collection and display. It was only 15 bucks. I thought it was kind of cool, and I will be unboxing this on the channel as well. So shout out to That 80s Toy Shop. I'll list off really quick all the places I went to. Let's see. Toys from Lowe's, the Niagara Emporium. I didn't really get anything there, though. What else? Kingpin Comics and Gaming, That 80s Toy Shop, Bartertown Collectibles, and Fox Prowl Toys and Comics. And speaking of Fox Prowl, a bunch of the stuff right here is actually all these things that I got here are from Fox Prowl. The first of which I brought in a bunch of stuff and had some really awesome store credit. And for most of that, I used it on this Play Arts Kai Green Lantern. I mean, look at this thing. That is incredible. I might actually take my phone out right now, holding this guy in my hand, and I think I'm going to make him the thumbnail for this video because this is probably the coolest thing that I got this entire weekend is this Play Arts Kai Green Lantern. So he was loose, but we did get some accessories. He's missing one of the knee pads, but that's all right. I got him for 80 store credit. Or 79, but I had like 120 store credit, so I got some other stuff too. We have all the little effects and everything, and the little cutout from the box. But that was a super awesome pickup. I didn't really realize it at the time, but for 10 bucks, I grabbed this Solidus Snake action figure. And I've always wanted Metal Gear Solid toys and figures, especially with good articulation. It's a little loose, but the articulation is still good. And of course, gray head with an eye patch, or gray hair with an eye patch. I'm all over it, so we have that as well. Solidus Snake from Metal Gear Solid 2, I think. I have no idea. And then an upgrade for our current DC Universe Classic Steppenwolf, and I really just kind of had to get some of that store credit out of the way. I couldn't decide. We got the other variant of Steppenwolf, so I'll be trading off my red version of him for this arguably cooler and more Kirby-styled green version of him. So there's that as well. Steppenwolf. Another stop I almost forgot to mention, we'll get this one out of the way quick, is Lost in a Vacuum, like Legos in North Tonawanda, New York. I went there in August, but they were closed, but I was able to stop in this week and meet him. The owner, Chuck, was a great guy. Once again, actually here, let me show this off really quick. I should show these off as I go over them, but I do have a little brochure. So I showed you Toys from Lowe's. Here's Lost in a Vacuum parts and collectibles, blocks and bricks. North Tonawanda, New York. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on there, but it was really vibey, very nice, very fairly organized for what it is, being honest. But I grabbed some other parts for that Sharp display that I had going on recently, so some muskets and cannons and maps and whatnot. So we have that, and then also this really cool Lego Passport, and my dogs are barking in the background. I apologize if you guys can hear that, but it's really cool Lego Passport. They discontinued this whole gimmick, but this was actually stamped in Dublin. So that was kind of cool, and maybe I can get some use out of this. We'll see. You guys know me. I travel around and go to different collectible stores, so I thought maybe that's something I could get some use out of. We'll have to see. Can I throw this back in here? No, we'll wait till later for that. All right, we'll get rid of the rest of this stuff and then go over the loose figures. So number one from Fox Prowl, the rotor thing. I don't know. I'm going to do a Masters of the Universe Classic display, and I wanted an enemy vehicle. So I grabbed that, and that was just $20. Used my store credit from Bartertown Collectibles in Rochester, New York. I didn't really have a great time there today, I'm going to be honest with you, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But we got the DC Signature Collection Rocket Red for $40, a pretty decent price, but I will be unboxing this on the channel. One of the larger DC Universe Classics figures, and I'm super happy that I was able to find it. I honestly didn't even know that they made it. But let's get rid of this first, and then we'll go to the rest of the loose figures before wrapping this up. Right here, we should just have a comic and a card from Kingpin Comics and Gaming in Tonawanda, New York. But number one is going to be the new Image Comics Skin Breaker. So you can see that right there. I figured it was kind of cool. It's kind of Avatar-esque. James Cameron Avatar, of course. And then there's a really cool Magic the Gathering card that I saw. Ketramose, The New Dawn. That was really cool. So I picked up that as well. Why not? And then I'll get this literature out of the way. Sticker from Orion Collectibles in Depew, New York. I stopped in there. Didn't pick anything up, though. Here's a card for Fox Prowl in Batavia. So there you go. I'm sure they have some more info on the back. This place is awesome, and they just added a new location. Some little brochures for Nickel City Comic Con in June. There'll be some great guests there. You can check them out on Facebook. Fair Trade Games in Depew. Just picked this up at Orion, but hell, I'll shout him out. I'm not a big game guy. And then, like I showed you, Lost in a Vacuum. All right. Finally, here we'll get through the rest of these loose figures. Number one from Bartertown Collectibles, we do have the Masters of the Universe Classics Plundar. So that was pretty sweet. I kind of like that. And he comes with a little blaster, so that's pretty sweet. We also have the Masters of the Universe Classics Faker, a nice little addition to my collection. Now, my collection is going to be more Hordak than really like He-Man versus Eternia. But we also grabbed a G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Bat, which is really cool. And then an awesome pickup. For $15, we got this Kit Bash Spider-Wolf body. And the figure for Spider-Wolf actually goes for like $30, $50 in and of himself. So it was kind of cool to find this little Kit Bash Spider-Wolf G.I. Joe Classified. All right, what else do we have in here? Ooh, DC Universe, Masters of the Universe Classics Dragster. That was pretty sweet, just for $20. That was a nice little find. A couple other ones here, the last two. We have a UFC Uriah Faber from Jazzwares. Like I said, I'm building up that UFC collection. And then finally here, to go with that Daredevil and Punisher, a Marvel Legends Spider-Man with the extra Tom Holland head and hands for $10. So that was pretty sweet. All right, folks, I got to go deal with my dogs. A Western New York toy haul from earlier this week. I'll find some interesting title for it, but that Play Arts Kai Green Lantern was really sweet. All right, folks, I'll leave it there. As always, my name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.